The only reason we wouldn't is because you haven't pushed the right buttons yet.
I know it's my one job. I'm doing it, pushing buttons. I said it like I don't know if that's buttons. Buttons.
Push your buttons.
All right. We're going. We're doing this. Hello,
Wow,
everyone.
it's such a great start.
It's the best start ever.
Welcome to our podcast called What About This Idea? I thought you were going to say it with me. I thought we were going to do it
Go
together.
ahead. But what about this idea? What is the rest of it? Don't look over there.
Inside the hearts and minds of entrepreneurs.
Yep, you did it.
But I didn't say it like you do, the French entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur. That one? Yeah, I got that one down.
We refuse to look up
have-
the term entrepreneur.
We pretty much nailed it by now. But
I'm
now
sure.
now I'm pushing all the buttons wrong.
See?
We've got
Is always the delay.
Carin Storlien.
All the good stuff happens before the buttons.
Oh,
Yeah.
does it?
For the button.
I did.
Buttons.
I put up the little graphic with your name and everything. I should probably just do that afterward, but it's so fun to throw it in there.
Well,
And push the buttons and toy around with
when
it.
you're done being enamored by that button, then we'll do it in the
Here, look
order
at-
it should be.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Yay for the
You
buttons.
push the button. All right. Carin, hi.
Hi.
Welcome in.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so we've already prefaced this for you. We already talked to you about what this show is about, but it is about entrepreneurship. So presumably, for anyone listening to or watching the show, you're here on account of something having to do with entrepreneurship. Right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right. What is that?
What is
What are
my
you?
entrepreneurship? I started a pickle company.
Who does
Who
that?
does that?
Yeah. You started a pickle company, but presumably you left some Fortune 500 company that you started years ago or something already.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
so
I gave it all up. Took a risk.
Yeah, you've been.
Or you had your third birthday and you thought, if I could only be a pickle company
could
owner.
only. Yes.
And so it's been your driving focus for your whole life.
My entire life.
Yeah.
Dreams do come true.
That's right.
From day one?
No.
Early.
I am actually a full-time bartender. Woo.
Oh, well, there you go.
And I have a son who's now 9, and he's getting more and more independent. And so I just started. Well, I've been making these pickles for well over 15, maybe 20 years,
Okay.
but not this exact recipe.
But you've
so-
been making pickles. Like, do people around you know of you as a person who makes really good pickles?
Yes, like
Okay.
anytime there's a pickle recipe or a pickle cocktail or a pickle shirt, they're sending it to me like, Carin, look at this. So I'm the pickle girl. I love pickles. When I was little, my mom would tease me and tell me I would turn into a pickle because all I would eat were pickles.
So this really has been a part of
I
your
mean,
life
yeah.
for a long time.
Did you grow pickles?
I grew cucumbers, but I don't have the best green thumb on the planet.
Yeah.
Let's be
Well,
honest.
let's leave that to the
I've
professionals,
tried,
shall
and
we?
all of mine turned into like round tomato-shaped cucumbers. So I don't know.
I've had those on my vines too. Like, and I feel like it's not my fault.
It's
in any way.
not
Like,
my
I didn't do anything. It said, look it on the package. Like, that's a
Exactly.
long pickle.
Exactly.
And the directions are always like, put seed in ground, water.
Yeah.
Done.
It's like,
Yeah.
I can do that.
I can't.
Yeah. Cucumbers are not the most fussy of vines to grow or whatever. But you couldn't grow. You couldn't grow enough to make a.
So when I started to make, so I used to can them. These are a different style, the refrigerator, but I would just go to farmers markets, local farmers markets. I lived in St. Paul, so I would just walk or take the bus downtown and so then I would do all sorts of like habaneros. I like spicy too. I grew into the spicy palate, so I could never find a decent spicy pickle at the grocery store.
Yep.
They all had like sugar or not spicy at all or.
Well, it's because we're in Minnesota.
True.
Yeah. People don't do
But
spice in the upper Midwest very well.
Do they have spicy pickles in Texas?
I think they have spicy
Maybe
pickles elsewhere.
actually spicy, but you'd be surprised. Minnesota, there's a following for these There's spicy people out there.
There are. I love spice, and
Yeah.
so you are my people.
See?
Yeah.
See? Yeah.
Exactly.
These will be, you'll love. Have you had them?
Your pickles?
Yeah.
No,
No.
I'm dying to have one.
Okay.
I see them sitting there,
They're really crunchy.
calling for me.
Even after your breakfast and lunch.
and
already
lunch. Yeah. Let's eat. Let's eat again.
All right. So obviously, you can't grow your own enough pickles to do this. I don't think any pickle manufacturer is like, well, maybe, but they've got farmers that do that work as well.
They do.
So you have farmers who grow pickles.
Yep. Now I do.
Do you source from a certain thing so that they're uniform?
Yeah, I source. So again, living in Minnesota, finding the right cucumbers year round is challenging. So I met a woman who owns a grocery store, and I used to go in and take all of her pre-wrapped pickling cucumbers, and she would get so frustrated with me, and she was like, "What are you doing with all my cucumbers?" I was like, "Well, I kind of started a pickle company, and you're the only," because they have to be a specific type of cucumber.
Yeah.
And she had them, and she goes, "Well, okay, I'll just order them for you. What do you want?" So then it just led to that was my connection. So she, every Monday, "What do you need? 2 cases, 3 cases?" And I pick them up from her, go downtown in my commercial kitchen, and get to work. And she also gets the Thai chilies for me. So it's hard to source.
She's your dealer.
She's my dealer.
Well, I don't.
I told her I couldn't do it without her.
Yeah, I don't want to be a pain in the butt, but like that. This is why this show is about. What about this idea? Like that's the name of the show.
Yeah.
And it's a show about how to like satisfying these entrepreneurial urges. I would say because you're bartending like she's called a supplier.
Yeah.
Like she just gets you the things you need, right? But that's like the stuff you didn't know because you were just a pickle maker. You really loved making pickles.
I did. And
yeah,
it was just walking into the right store. It's a Asian market grocery store, and I love to cook Asian food, stir fry, yada, yada, yada. But she also had beautiful fresh produce there. And I was like, oh my gosh, like these Thai.
The perfect ones.
Perfect. And the Thai chilies were these vibrant red, beautiful peppers. So I get them from her as well.
That's awesome.
I know.
How did this happen? Now I'm confused. We got to go back in time.
Okay, go back.
Yeah.
So you like to make different kinds of pickles.
Yes.
And assuming you started making pickles and like giving them to friends and family.
Yes.
And then it just got out of hand, or what happened?
Yeah. So,
It sounds like
I mean, yeah, basically. So at where I work, the restaurant, I have a friend, Sean. Hey, Sean. He actually,
Hey, Sean.
he and his girlfriend were the ones to like push me to do this. So I brought them in all the time. They're fun for me to make. And he was like, Carin, like, I've never been so excited. This is the best new food I've had in a long time. I was like, well, it's just a pickle, but him
Is
and
Sean excitable normally?
Sean, well,
Was this shocking?
excitable. So it was just like I said, like my son was getting older and growing up, and I had all this free time during the day, and he said, you should really sell these. And I was like, no. So like, no, I do it for fun. And he's like, okay, but you could. So I started to just dig into like, how do I do this? What do I need to get the license? And it was just a roller coaster of the right person, conversations. The state of Minnesota guided me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, so yes, then I created this recipe. It's taken many years, and I never write anything down. That's another thing. My husband's like, are you ever going to write this stuff down? Because
like the recipe?
for this,
Yeah.
I still have never written it down.
Oh my God. It's like the, what is the Kentucky Fried Chicken recipe died with Colonel
Exactly.
Sanders, and they kept trying to figure it out.
Did they? Is that a real story?
I think so. I don't know.
So I memorized, like, it's all in my head. I've never written it down. I should. But, so yeah, I just played around with ingredients. But they seem to turn out every time very consistent because now I've just, I make so many of them at a time. I've just got to.
Yeah. You've gotten it down. I cook and I don't have recipes and I don't write recipes down, but I get it. Like I've made bread dough so many times that I have no need of a recipe for it.
Right. Yeah.
But But you are making something that people expect to be the same each time.
Yes.
Right. So you have to know it really, really well.
Really well, yes.
And if you're going to scale that in any way, you've got to have a recipe so that
I
someone
do.
else can come and do
Yep.
it.
Mhm.
Yep.
It's all up here.
So let's say,
Colonel Sanders.
I mean, I just love
Recipes in her head.
the business part of it though. So you didn't set out to make a business. You're a reluctant entrepreneur in a certain way, aren't
And
you?
it's, yeah, in a certain way.
Yeah, because you still don't even know for sure.
I don't know what I'm doing half the time. I just take it step by step and like, you need this? Okay.
How many jars of pickles do you make in a week?
About 60.
60 jars of pickles a week?
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
And so you had to source the stickers, you had to source the containers, you have to source all of the ingredients so that they turn out uniform. And then you brought them somewhere, presumably, and started selling them.
Yep.
Okay, how did that go? So you had to jump through state hoops, though, too.
Yeah.
And you had to find a commercial kitchen that would allow you to do this because you can't produce this stuff in your home and
No.
sell it, right?
No, can't.
Okay.
What does that really mean? What does it mean? What does a commercial kitchen mean? Does it mean it's like it has good knives?
Well, they do have good knives. Most of them. No, it's inspected by the state of Minnesota. So
Okay.
it has to have certain refrigerator temperatures. The disinfectants there to sanitize have to be to standard.
Oh, okay.
3 well sinks, hand washing stations.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
No, I like it. It's
Basically a
there
restaurant
are no bad
kitchen
questions.
up to code.
Yeah, there are no bad questions. The truth is, if you're going to sell stuff to the public, the state wants to know that you're producing it in a space that meets a certain standard.
Yes.
So you could have all the same commercial equipment in your house,
But they can't
but if you're not
control
getting,
that.
yeah, if you're not getting it inspected, you're not a certified.
Yeah, I can't even store them in my home refrigerator.
Okay, so let's go back to the restaurant. I'm going to go ahead and give Pittsburgh Blue is where you work, right?
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and give.
Maybe they
Pittsburgh
want to
Blue
be a sponsor.
I mean, this is a
maybe.
Parasolar
Parasolar?
company. I used to work at Filio.
Hey.
I'm fine with this. I was a bartender. You worked at bars. Were you a bartender too? Or?
I was very much a bartender.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we all have that in common. So anyway, I'll give them, and then I'll give a little shout out to the Corner Bar
Corner bar, yes.
because they have allowed you to use their kitchen, right?
Yes. Bill Murray, not the Bill Murray, but
No.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray is
And his wife, his lovely wife.
Yeah. Yep. I know Bill.
So you go over to the corner bar and do your pickles?
In their kitchen.
Kitchen.
Because he has two spaces. One's downstairs that basically hardly ever gets used. So he was just kind enough to give me the space and allow me to do my thing down there. And it's amazing.
Shout
I'm
out
gonna-
to the corner bar.
I'm going to
Yeah.
look right in the camera and I'm going to say, listen, if you own a space that's not being used all the time and you've got a small business person in the neighborhood who needs something, wouldn't it be nice to just help out a little bit?
Yeah, he gets free pickles in his Bloody Mary bar every Sunday.
Oh, that's perfect.
That's my trade.
So does
Bill's a good guy.
He's a great guy.
are all your? I'm so curious about these pickles. I mean, are all your clients local here, or are you like shipping this across the world?
Oh, no, not yet. They're all local for now.
But she said not yet.
Not
I
yet.
know,
right?
I mean, I've had many people reach out to me for, do you ship here? Or do you ship there? Because I don't know if you read the article that Racket Online Magazine did about me.
I did.
He showed me the
Since-
article because I was like, "Who is this person we're talking to tomorrow?" I can't even find her on LinkedIn.
I know, because it's all so
I don't even know.
new.
Like she's obviously
A mystery.
a witness protection person. Now we're gonna expose her.
I know.
But that's because you didn't come into this from the business world. So I mean, like I would say that you're going to be running into people who are like in love with your story and want to help you get this out and distribute further because yours is a good story. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
it's the way it works.
I think it's a good story, and it's just honestly, I almost gave up because so I don't know, there's a license called the cottage license through the state of Minnesota, which therefore you don't need a commercial kitchen. You can produce out of your home. So I was like, I'll do that. Reached out to the state and no, I don't qualify because they're not processed. So they're not canned. They're fresh from counter straight to the refrigerator.
Got it.
So without the canning process, they're not considered shelf stable. So it was just all these like hoops I had to go through, and I said, okay, well maybe this isn't worth it. And then I talked to a coworker, Eric Gladden. Hey, Eric.
Hey, Eric.
I know Eric.
And he said,
You know Eric?
I know Eric.
He knows everybody.
He was a bartender.
Yeah, we're all
downtown or uptown. Eric Gladden's a fixture from the 90s anyway, or was in the 90s. Anyway.
Eric.
And then
Goodness,
he
shout out.
said, well, hey, because they're always at work, right? If you ever need a commercial space, I know a guy, just let me know. And I said, okay, good to know. And so I had that in the back of my mind and then I was like, I need a guy. Like, can I talk to your guy? And then that's when I met Bill at the corner bar. So then I got the space and I was like, okay, I don't need to give up. So I have this because I did this sort of like, it's called speed dating for first-time business startups.
What?
Through the Good Acres Farm, which is another great local.
Good Acres Farm.
Good
I had
Acres
no
Farm.
idea that there was such a thing, speed dating for local business startups.
Well, that's how they described it. So my neighbors, one of my neighbors works for the farm. So our other neighbors do this big Easter egg hunt every Easter for the kids, and they do a Bloody Mary bar for the grown-ups. I brought these to that. And everybody liked them, and they were like, these are amazing. And so Nikki, my neighbor, was like, hey, you have to come to this event. It's for first-time business startup. And Pickles are in right now. And she was like, just come in and have a conversation. So you basically would sit at a station for 5 minutes, and it ranged from like the University of Minnesota agriculture to food processing, food labeling, food or web design, everything you can think of, advertising. And
then people would come through and meet you?
we talk to them.
Okay.
So we stop at their station and bam, they give us their card.
Yep.
That's where I met Allison, who is a food scientist. She was like, just bring your product. And so I brought her a few samples. She did the pH equilibrium to make sure that I'm not going to cause botulism or any.
That's really great.
what
Not
did
gonna
we say?
kill anyone.
Not going to
That's
kill
good.
anybody.
It seems late in the game, but whatever.
I know. Well, I knew. I
You knew you were doing it right. I mean, you're
But
working
just
with
to have it on
vinegar.
record, yeah. So she's another one, because so many people kept saying, just try canning, it's easier. Just do it that way, it's easier. And I was like, no, but that's not my product. That's not what this is. So she said, I see it, Carin. I open these, they're beautiful. The fragrance, like, you don't want to can these. And so she gave me a little push to keep going.
Keep them fresh.
She said, you can do this. It's going to take a lot longer, but you can do this.
Okay.
So Allison encouraged me, and all of my samples came back well at the equilibrium of what the pH should be. So we're safe there.
The food scientist.
The food
signed off on it.
scientist.
Love this.
Yeah.
Okay,
so she was great. And then that was one more little whoop.
I see you as like the up and coming chickaboom gal. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, and yeah, but let's say now, so you know that Bill Murray also helped someone else get started out of that same kitchen.
I do, yes.
Yes. And who was that?
Salsa Lisa.
That's right.
oh, Salsa Lisa.
Out of that same
Hers
kitchen.
is fresh too, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was not the first time that the Corner Bar has incubated.
Corner bar. I like
They're
what
great.
you're doing. Corner bar.
I know.
You don't even have to sponsor. I think you should, but you don't have to because you're just doing good things.
They're great. Yeah, Salsa Lisa. And now her boyfriend actually bartends down the hall from me. So
Oh, really?
He's like, you work at the Corner Bar? That's where Lisa started. She's got her whole booming business now. So her and I want to meet up someday, hopefully, just so I can, pick her brain about so many things.
Yeah, of course. And then
So,
and then you
does she?
mentioned
I'm
the other
curious now. She's moved out of the.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
She's
so
got her own.
Does she have her own manufacturing, or is she like
Yeah.
outsourcing?
I don't want to say for sure. I don't know exactly what she's got.
I think she partnered with a larger company.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you can do that when they have all the standards and you give them your recipe, right?
They got the facilities to do it.
I mean, she's
These
at
pickles
Cub.
have to look like the Asian market pickle, or
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
Right.
Right.
That's
Yeah, I think
okay.
she's maybe even national. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But she's
I think she is too. I feel like I saw.
And
her
then you
stuff in
mentioned
California.
chick boom.
Chick-
Pop.
Chicka popcorn?
Oot. The popcorn. That one. Chick
Boom.
Boom Pop. Something.
Chick Boom Pop. I think you're right.
Something. You know what we're talking about?
I don't know.
That's
Chicken
another
pop-
local company that has been very successful with popcorn.
Oh.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not alone out there. But look at, I love it. Like you're very matter of factly sort of telling the story of how you have to like work and scrap to get from, I just like making pickles, to no, you should make these, and then they might end up
Yeah.
in grocery stores all over the place or something.
I know. And then like the labels, it's just honestly, it's like having the right conversation with the right person.
Yeah.
I have a friend, Tony. Hey, Tony.
Hey, Tony.
He's a graphic designer, and he said, I would love to help you with a label in my free time. And he kind of showed me that, and I was like, Tony, you like literally went into my head.
You did it.
I love it. I kind of came up with the pepper with the cursive CJ, and then he just did the rest, and he is brilliant. I'm telling
You're a
you.
brilliant pair. So how are you liking all the other stuff? I mean, you liked making pickles, and so you now make pickles.
I do.
But you also do taxes and bookkeeping and inventory and supply chain. How do you feel about all that?
It's a learning process. You know, it's something to feel proud about. I take pride in it. I'm kind of a perfectionist in a way. So I'm my only employee. So everyone's like, well, what are you going to do when you need to hire? I'm like, oh, I'll be down there watching them like a hawk. You know, it has to be, every sphere has to be cut perfectly. And, but the taxes.
You're gonna have to give that up.
I mean, I know. My house is a mess. My basement basically turned into a pickle office. So
A pickle office.
It's a mess. There's paper everywhere, receipts everywhere. I'm doing my best, but I've never done this before. So
No.
I'm meeting with my tax guy next month. It should be interesting.
About last year's taxes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like what am I
right.
claiming and all of that.
Nothing.
No,
Why
what?
do I have to?
Claiming? What does that mean?
It's just a
We're not
day at a
encouraging
time.
that.
No. No.
No, but this is really, I mean, it's really unique because it's like, it's very much the ground up, literally. He's come out of the ground. See?
Oh, yeah.
Got it? Ground up business.
You're right.
You know, but I'm just saying, it was a stretch.
It's not like a carrot.
I wasn't thinking about it when I said it, but then as I said it, I'm like, ooh, ground.
I would think it's a carrot would be ground. I could buy that into that better. But
carrots.
it's
Yeah,
not.
they kind of, yeah.
Fine. I'm just saying you are building a brand and a product from literally nothing.
Yeah.
I love how you've stuck with it, right? You know what I mean? Like you have defended your recipe, you've defended the way that you're going to present it. And when anybody works for you, you will be defending how they cut the
Oh, yeah.
cucumbers. So I think that there's a lot of people in the entrepreneurial world that will try and change things, right? Like, oh, you need a different label. Oh, no, you should have smaller pickles. No, you should have bigger pickles. No, you should jar them in. I just like how you've kind of like, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, but I'm going to do it my way. And then I'll learn along the way.
Yes.
So do you think that in your lifetime that you have shown these entrepreneurial tendencies before, or is this a surprise trait of yours?
I think it's a surprise. Yeah, I've never.
That's
yeah.
the impression I got too. It's like, so you're not scheming and thinking about a whole bunch of other ideas that
No,
you want to start
no.
up. Yeah, see, that's
I think that's actually really
One at a
good.
time.
it is. I do
It's
too.
like I am such a purple squirrel entrepreneur, right? It's like
I've never heard the term purple squirrel, but
you haven't heard the term purple squirrel.
No, I like it,
my
though.
God.
I like it.
Love surprising you.
yeah.
I'm like that. I'm like, oh, a software product? Yes, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, a podcast? Yes, I want to do that. Oh, that's a great idea. That sounds like a great business. I want to do that, right? And so I sometimes I can get in front of my skis. Have you heard that?
Yeah,
Yes.
I do that.
Okay, right.
I've heard that.
Sometimes I can get in front of my skis, and if I was just like focused on pickles, then I could just do pickles, right? And I do
Right.
pickles the best way you do pickles.
I hear you. I'm plagued by the same issues. I feel like I'll keep working on the last thing and stuff. I'm not going to abandon it, but like, wouldn't it be nice to just have one thing? Just one thing that you're doing,
I
and you
don't
just
know.
get.
Might be bored.
Well, yeah, you and I would be because our brains are broken. But
Well,
for Carin, I mean, this is like, but I mean,
I still work almost full time and have a 9-year-old son, so it's not my only project, but it's my project. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, you bartend at Pittsburgh Blue.
Yes.
We're gonna do a shout out again for them. Which one?
Edina.
Edina. Oh, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
yeah, that's because it's great.
It's inside.
It's
You can park underneath and just walk right up.
oh, it's very nice. Of course, this isn't your only thing, and that's not what we're suggesting.
Yeah.
What we're saying is you have a singular focus toward getting a single product
A
out, and
single
I think
yeah.
there's some real strength in that
I
because
do
you're
too.
not being distracted by, okay, well maybe I should throw in pickled.
Right.
No, Bloody Mary mix. See, that would be a
Beans.
perfect companion to this.
Yeah, but other
spicy
people do
Bloody
that.
Mary mix.
Well, I do eventually
people
want to
do
do a cookbook to go with it
Yeah.
because they have little.
I love
I have so many recipes in my head that we use with these, but that's another day.
We are going to have to write those things down.
I know.
Somebody's going to have to document here.
And is it is it going to be all things that go with pickles? I'm just curious if that was what you were getting.
Not necessarily like the peppers in there you can reuse, the garlic you can reuse, the brine. I have a gentleman in South Dakota. He'll come and just buy my brine. He hunts pheasants and
Yeah.
he brines his pheasant in my pickle brine.
I've used
And he said it's the
leftover
best
brine.
he's ever done. Like
Seriously.
seriously.
I hear it has a lot of electrolytes in it. You're supposed to drink that stuff in it for hangovers.
A little bit. The salt helps.
Yeah.
Salt, the vinegar.
There's a lot of
My brother
electrolytes.
claims it's bullshit, and I'm like, no, you are. The
He's
doctor.
the doctor.
Yeah. Like, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
It
I don't-
helps.
you don't know.
Even if it's
Well, I
placebo.
drink the pickle juice. I always have.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Look at her. She's a picture of health.
Yeah.
look at me.
Yes.
Yeah, take that, Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
Anyway, we're gonna take our little break here in the middle. We've hit that point. We can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're gonna get a little plate.
Yes.
Several of them.
And we're going to get a lager.
and a lager, and we
Oh,
can
yeah.
try some pickles.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
we're going to talk recipes. I think we should talk
No,
recipes.
no recipes. She's not giving up her recipes.
Well, she's going to talk about what they are. Oh my God.
they're
We
a list of
need
ingredients.
a lager right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.